Don't soul roll me if you get quad fours, man.
King 5.
You folded king, king, jack, jack?
I was either gonna raise or fold.
What the fuck? You owe me $350. Thank you, sir.
I knew there was a reason why you checked the flop.
Thank you, sir. Doing the Lord's work. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you. We're on the button 7-handed playing a double board bomb pot, and we're dealt a pretty junky King 10 4-3 suited in diamonds to our 10. The flops come out King Queen 6 with 2 diamonds and King Queen 2 with 2 clubs. The hijack bets $75, and on a short stack we rip it in for $185, as there's only 1 king left in the deck and we don't have much to lose.
75.
Good luck, all in. Thanks, guys.
Okay. You didn't say good luck. All in. Where you got that idea? Take time. Hurry up. Can you call the clock, please? What's that? Can you call the clock?
Call.
The other day, I didn't do it. Because Tito wants me to get in with him, but everybody says don't do it. See the problem. You know what? Not good. Your audio.
All right, we got the winner out. We got the winner out.
I hope you have 3 deuces.
No. Only the original better calls, and we're heads up for my stack. The turns come the King of Diamonds and the Ace of Hearts, and then the 4 of Hearts and the 10 of Clubs. We wind up making Kings full of 4s, and Kings and 10s, and scoop against our opponent's Ace 6, 6-3 suited in spades to his ace. So our opponent bet multi-way with just bottom set on the top board and nothing on the bottom board. However, we did get lucky to win that board as he was a 70% equity favorite over our hand. On the bottom board, we were over 81% to win, and we wind up taking both runouts to secure the full double up. All right, I got Kings full of 4s.
Kings full.
And then kings and 10s. I scoop, baby. Scoop, baby. Wait, let me see your hand for the vlog. There we go. Hey, too close. Thank you.
Man,
Scoop.
you take his money and you take his picture too?
You're going to get that. You're going to keep
Don't do
that.
that, you know?
Best of dealer!
I split it with you.
You split it? No, we don't. I told you we got the winner out. Thank you, thank you. We're in the big blind in another double board bomb pot, and we're dealt Queen 9, 9-8 suited in spades to our Queen. We go to 2 flops, which fall Ace Queen 3 Rainbow and King Jack 9 with 2 spades. A tight player bets $110 and actions on us. While on the surface our hand looks good, we flopped a set, and a flush draw, and a straight draw. All of those are on the same board. On the top board, all we have is middle pair and some backdoor hope. And on the bottom board, while 2 of the queens are accounted for, we could still be facing someone with the nut straight here, and our draw to the flush is only the second nuts. Against the entire field, we opt to fold, and let's see what happens. Let it go.
Hi, Anthony.
Hello. Oh, you want?
Hi, Anthony.
There we go. Great in Britain saying hello. What's that?
I only asked 50% of all.
Oh, an appearance fee? That's fair. That's fair. I just got monetized. I'm up to like $57. So look out, world. I'll be retiring soon.
57 a month or 57 a video?
No, like that's what I have in my. I just got monetized like a video or 2 ago. So
No, that's the total revenue.
total revenue so far for the month. Yeah. But I didn't get monetized at the beginning of the month. Like I had to get. You need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours watched. I didn't have the 1,000 right away. So once you hit the 1,000, then you have to send in an application and go through a whole process and wait for them to get back to you. So even while you're waiting, you're not making anything. So.
7. Oh.
Give me my hand back.
We got king,
all
set of
right,
kings on the bottom, full house up top.
I would have made sets of 9s on both boards. All right, so I guess we made the right laydown. In comparison to the boards we were beat on the flop, so we made the right laydown on the flop. I guess this is the vlog of double board bomb pots because here we go again. We're under the gun holding Queen 10, 8-6 double suited in diamonds and clubs. The boards come out Jack 5-4 with 2 clubs and 9-6-5 with 2 diamonds. We flop straight and flush draws on both boards, although not all of our draws are to the nuts. We check, and behind us there is a weak $30 bet and 4 callers when it gets to us. In this spot, I hate my decision, which is to just call. I have draws on both boards, but if I'm going to continue here, my hand plays a ton better facing one opponent rather than the entire field, as we can easily hit on both boards and lose facing multiple opponents. I much prefer in this spot that we either raise or fold rather than let everyone in. There's 6 callers of this bet, and we're going 7 ways to the turn, and the turns are the 9 of hearts and the 2 of clubs. Now the player in the small blind leads out for $100, the big blind calls, and again, we just call the $100 here, and I don't like that play. The turn on the top board has given us a nice wrap draw. We can hit a king, 10, 8, or 7 to make our straight, plus we still have a queen high club draw on that board. And on the bottom board, we have 10 high diamonds to draw to, and a gut shot to the nut straight, needing to see a 7 peel off on the river. Again, I think it's terrible that I'm just calling here, allowing potentially better draws in, rather than pushing them out, and giving myself a shot to scoop against just one opponent. The only real saving grace here is that this is from way back at the end of this past October, so I didn't do this recently. A player behind shoves all in for $235, there's a caller, and then the original bettor calls, and the guy between us calls, and we call as well. So now there's 5 of us going to the river with over $1,500 in the middle, and the rivers fall the queen of spades and the 4 of clubs. We check, and a player behind shoves all in for $405. The small blind calls $405, the big blind calls, and the decision is on us. We've rivered the second nuts on the top board, losing to someone holding king 10 in their hand, and on the bottom board we have bupkis. In for a penny, in for a pound, we make the call hoping we're getting half of this pot that is now over $3,100. The guy who shoved the river turns over 8-8-7-6 double suited in hearts and spades, having flopped the nuts on the bottom board that holds up. The player in the small blind also shows up with the same straight, turning over ace-8-7-5 with 3 spades. And the player in the big blind winds up having 9-9-3-2, having made a set of 9s on both boards, and rivering a low straight on the bottom board but failing to fill up. So I managed to win half this pot, 2 other players split the other half, and if we had hit our flush, we would have scooped these guys.
405, showdown.
I have second nuts with the queen high straight.
Straight to the 9 on the bottom.
We got ace of hearts, 7 of hearts, 8 of spades, 6 of spades. And we got ace of spades, 7 of spades, 5 of spades, 8 of clubs. And 2 of diamonds, 9 of diamonds, 9 of clubs.
I got
7 of 9.
low straight.
I got a straight on that board.
Nice.
10-8, yep.
Straight to the queen, 2 straights to the 9.
Woo, we're getting half that pot, baby. Woo. You know, I just remembered I left my stove on, guys. I got a racks.
All right, I gotta bring everything in.
Dang, that's bad.
3/4.
I gotta make this guy work.
No. I had a set of 9s on both boards and I rivered the low straight on the bottom. They're talking.
He doesn't have it.
Okay, so
He's got a straight.
I get half and they get quartered.
so you get totally half.
Best of dealer. Yeah, I needed their 7 on that other board to make the straight, and I had the diamond draw. If that was, the diamonds were good too on that board.
Thank you.
I had open end. We switched these to I had straight on one board, open end on the other. But
well, I had 2 flush draws and I had 2 straight draws. I probably should have played it more aggressive, but I'm a bitch.
I also have a straight on bottom, but I said I don't want to call.
there's too much in there.
It's all gonna be.
You had a 7-8?
Look at that pot.
No, I
all
have
those chips,
I have
those
3 and
fives.
7. I had that. Yeah, I have a 3 and 7.
Yeah, but you didn't have a straight.
Players track, table
You didn't have a
5.
straight.
No, I have.
No, you had it on the river.
Yeah, I
on
had
the
it in
turn.
river.
Oh,
Yeah,
how do you
yeah,
even
yeah.
stay in on
Yeah, I
the
had it in river.
Yeah, just 9s on both.
Cookies in my pocket. I'll do it right
Nice.
Hang tight so I can pay you.
Very nice, yeah.
I had the second nut straight and it was open-ended on the
I didn't know if I wanted clubs or... I guess my clubs were good too. Yeah, my clubs were good and my diamonds were good.
I'm sitting here tanking going, how am I not beat by a 7-8 on the bottom?
Right.
Now all I've got is a bottom end of the straight there and an open-ended on the top. With with a flush draw sitting there. I can't get in the stay in.
The 9 was
I got half.
And you guys get the other. You guys get the.
So once you give it to him, bam.
He has the
8-10.
top. He has uncontested. This is 625. That's 625.
You're doing the Lord's work, sir.
Color at the color base. I only have one hand.
This is good for the vlog, guys. Good for the vlog.
Open-ended on Did you have a set on both
I had a
boards,
set of 9s
right?
on both boards, and then I rivered the second.
Anything pairs on either board.
Yeah.
is
Into the turn, the river, there's too much.
That's too much.
Damn.
The set on both, you can't
Oh, wait a minute. Actually, it
You
goes
just cannot fold.
I thought this guy. It was so long. I forgot whose hand this was.
Keep bringing it.
Sorry for that. I almost gave it to him.
Well, and then the sucker straight. I was like, so it's really just, I was praying for the top.
Even the red.
All right, we're gonna tip this guy 25.
We good?
Best.
He's trying to buy and use that.
No, I want to do this, man. This is more exciting. It's better for the vlog. Best dealer. Best dealer.
Thank you.
Those previous hands were all from the same session where we booked a solid win of $975. The next two hands are from a different session where we booked a small loss of a few hundred. We're in the big blind in a double board bomb pot and we're dealt Queen Jack 3-3 with 3 diamonds. The boards come out 9-5-3 all clubs and Ace Jack 10 with 2 diamonds. When the small blind checks, we waste no time in betting the full pot of $120. We flop bottom set on the 9-high board, but our bet could put pressure on non-nut flushes and sets larger than ours. And on the bottom board, we've got the nut straight plus the open-ended royal flush draw. A player in early position calls, as does the small blind, and we're going 3 ways to a turn. What is she doing here? The turns fall the 9 of diamonds and the queen of hearts. We've turned a full house on the top board, albeit the bottom full house, and on the other board we still have the nuts and royal flush draw, but a heart draw has just shown up as well. We again bet the full pot of $480. The early position player calls, the small blind lets it go. Come on, Nez, why you gotta do me dirty? The river falls, the jack of spades and the 10 of spades. We aren't thrilled to see the board pair 10s on the board we had the nuts on, but given we're heads up, it's going to be tough for our opponent to have us beat on both boards, and with close to $1,500 in the middle, and we only have around $350 behind, we shove all in. Our opponent snap calls, and now we're showing down for a pot of over $2,100. Hey, remember what I told you it was going to be hard for our opponent to have us beat on both boards? Yeah, well, I was kind of off on that, as our opponent turns over 10-10-9-5 for a bigger full house plus rivered quads. Looking at the equities on the flop, the top board we had 75% equity. The bottom board we have close to 66% equity. You'd think, how could we possibly get scooped? But on the turn, we dropped to 2.5% equity with only 1 out on the top board for us to win. And on the bottom board, we dropped to under 63% equity as our opponent picks up the heart draw to go with his full house draw. Unfortunately, this time around, he gets there and we get stacked. We're in the big blind and look down at the beautiful Ace-Ace Jack-Jack suited in diamonds. The $10 straddles on. There's a $30 raise under the gun plus 1. Early position calls 30, the cutoff calls 30, the button calls 30, the small blind calls 30, and we announce pot making it 220 to go. The original raiser folds, and it folds to the button who just calls. The small blind lets it go, and we're heads up against the button with some dead money in the middle. The pot is now $570. We have $565 behind, which means with a 1-to-1 stack to pot ratio, we're essentially getting it in on almost any run out. The flop comes down 8-7-3 with 2 hearts. This is definitely not the flop we're looking for. We don't even have a heart blocker, and although we do have 2 jack blockers for the top straight, we're only facing one opponent though, and with our stack size equal to the pot size, we get it in. Our opponent calls, and we're playing for a pot of $1,700.
We shove 565, I believe.
Player will go all in. Confirm.
He calls. I always go twice.
We're gonna get 2 times.
Turns to 6 of diamonds. There's a 9 of hearts. What's that?
That's yours.
It is? Okay. Jack of hearts. I got a set of jacks and aces.
Okay. Bottom one. Got a jack. Top board.
Aces. Here comes 6 of diamonds, 9 of hearts, and jack of hearts, 2 of diamonds.
565. Yeah, that's 565.
Thank you, sir.
Hello everyone, Anthony here. Thank you for watching. Coming up after this outro, I'm going to have some special footage of my 3 cats doing cat things by request. But first, I do want to shout out to some viewers of the vlog who left comments on my past couple of videos, because my previous video, I didn't do any shout outs. First up is going to be Zachary. Zach, well, I think it was Zach, not Zachary, but I'm sure it's Zachary. Anyway, Zach said that he really appreciates the humor in my vlogs, and, you know, I appreciate that you enjoy it. I do try to make them fun and entertaining, and, you know, even though it's painful to relive the beats, it still cracks me the fuck up every time I see Inez flying across the screen delivering me the bad news. Liam asked if I was going to be doing a results episode showing my results from the previous year. I am not particularly comfortable sharing my finances with everyone. I know a number of vloggers have recently shared their poker results, but a lot of those guys also have significant sources of income that they aren't sharing, such as, you know, directing their fan base to, you know, private poker clubs and apps where, you know, they're charging outrageous rake, and that money has allowed them to move up in stakes significantly beyond what they had been playing previously. So I think, you know, a lot of them are making money that way rather than directly from poker. Obviously, there's other people, you know, making sponsorship money, YouTube money. And I think, you know, some of those guys, the money that they're getting outside of poker is equal to or greater than what they're making in poker. But for me, you know, I'm making $100 a month off the YouTube channel, so not retiring anytime soon off of that. And as far as the poker results, you know, I'll share this graph that will show my tracking from my time moving to Texas. So these are my results starting last year and up until, you know, this week as far as playing. But I'm not going to share actual numbers. I will. I think I've done it before, but I'll give a range that my hourly is somewhere between 60 to 120 per hour. I'm not at the bottom of that range. I'm not at the top of that range. So do with that what you will. But also realize I'm not playing 40 hours a week either. So I'm putting in less hours. I worked my ass off, you know, for other people for so long, and I was working 70 plus hours a week working for someone else. So, you know, this has given me a work-life balance that I was missing. It hasn't been all a bed of roses. There's been, you know, highs and lows. There's been crushing bad beats, 2.5 month downswing. You know, you get people, you know, questioning your plays, complaining that you play too tight, trying to tell you how, you know, they would play. And, you know, and I don't think I'm the greatest player at PLO. I've just found something that works for me, that's in my comfort zone, and that has been successful for me. And, you know, other people who play more aggressive, more power to them. But, you know, I'm also dealing at the tables with, you know, Ms. who want to complain that I'm at the table, and they want to bitch and moan, you know, and point out that I don't play a lot of hands. But then when I try to leave the table, they want to bitch and moan that I'm leaving. So, you know, you deal with a different type of stress playing poker than you do working at the 9 to 5. But it is not, you know, take off the rose-colored glasses. It's not all fun and games. There is definitely a lot of pain and heartache, frustration, dealing with drunks, dealing with obnoxious people. Sometimes I'm the obnoxious people. But anyway, I'm rambling. I also wanted to give a shout out to, I'm going to try to pronounce this, but I'm probably going to fuck it up, Sudhir Padmanabhan. And he responded to my most recent video where Patty had gotten me off the best hand on the river with an all-in shove first act from the live stream at TCH Live. And he asked, surely she wasn't value betting. And looking back at that hand, I really don't think that Patty is sophisticated to the point, or I don't think it wouldn't even be a sophisticated play where, you're going to call off half your stack across 2 streets out of position, just praying that a 10 jack or queen is going to hit on the river so you can run a fancy bluff. It makes no sense. Especially where, she has a 10 in her hand, so she blocks herself from hitting that. I had ace, queen, 8, so I could have easily had ace, queen, jack. I could have rivered the nuts. So I don't think that, she was playing that as a bluff. I don't think her intention was to bluff. I fully believe that if she had hit a king, a 7, or a 5 on the river, she was going to pay me off, even though my hand was pretty face up. It was pretty painfully obvious to most players that I had aces, or, a set of aces, and I would have made aces full. But I'm fully convinced that if she had made an under full house, she would have paid me off there. So I think in her mind, she might have been value betting when she hit that 10 and she had kings up. She had 4 pair. I mean, I really don't know what she was thinking. But, everyone has left different opinions. Some people agreed with me. Some people said, they would have snap called. But some of the other people, they've played with her a bunch, so they know her style. It was my first time playing with her. Hopefully February 2nd, when I'm back on TCH Live in Austin, I will get my revenge if she's playing. But I really don't care. I just want to get the money, whoever I get it from. I don't care where the money comes from. It all spends the same. Anyway, we're going to get to the cats now. And thank you guys for tuning in. And we will see you in the next episode. After watching a video like this, sometimes I'll like it, sometimes I'll leave a comment, and sometimes I'll subscribe. Sometimes I'll even do all 3.